So hi everyone, welcome to Humans in AI by the Global AI community. In each and every episode, we speak to a human who is actually working in the field of AI. And today, Bala is with me. Hi Bala.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about you. Shall we start?
Yep.
Okay. So my first question is, if you have not decided to start working in the tech industry, in what industry would we find you then?
Well, I studied mechanical engineering, and tech industry happened to be an accident. So if not in the tech industry, I would have been in mechanical engineering, probably running a factory somewhere.
Okay. Can you tell a bit more about that accident that happened?
Yeah. So when I graduated, I graduated in India as a mechanical engineer, and it was that time when there was a software boom everywhere, and there were a lot of companies which were hiring folks into the tech industry from all sorts of backgrounds, educational backgrounds. All you need to know is show the right aptitude, and they'll teach you and train you. So that's how I got into the software industry. I started my career in Infosys.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. We had a rigorous training program, and at the end of it, I came through and they offered me a job. And I've been in the tech industry since then.
Okay. And when did you move to Microsoft then?
I moved to Microsoft in 2007. It's been a little over 15 years now.
Okay. And still enjoying it?
Yes.
Okay.
I cannot say I've been in the same job for 15 years, but I've been in Microsoft every few years. I've jumped, and it's been fun all over.
I can totally imagine that. So what do you and your team do? What do you focus on?
I am a program manager in the Azure Machine Learning team. The Azure Machine Learning team is the team which provides Azure Machine Learning as a platform to customers. My team specifically owns the SDK and CLI of Azure Machine Learning. We are the core SDK and CLI team.
Wow, that sounds interesting. And that touches a lot of features, right?
Yes, it touches pretty much every feature available in Azure Machine Learning, because to interact with any feature of the product, you need either a CLI or an SDK and UI.
Yes.
So, but as data scientists, most people use the SDK and Python specifically. So yeah, more or less pretty much I can say with confidence that more than 90% of the people have used some piece of work which I've done.
Yeah. And how did you got into the field of AI?
That was interesting. So like I said, I've been in Microsoft for 15 years now. I started off in Microsoft as working in the procurement platform for Microsoft. I've done the expense management platform of Microsoft. I've been in the developer partner platform of Microsoft. And I was looking for a change. And one of my colleagues came up with this ad that, hey, I'm working in machine learning and I have opportunities. Do you want to try? I reached out to him. I told him I don't know anything about the machine learning as such. I'm starting from zero. He said, okay, let's have some discussions and see where you stand. And looks like they liked the breadth of what I did, and they thought that breadth would help me to provide a different perspective in this team. So I got hired. I came into the team with almost zero knowledge of machine learning, and I've learned on the job.
And was it difficult for you to learn that?
Yes, it was definitely not easy. The first few months, I used to go into any meeting or any conversation, I used to feel like high school kids attending a calculus class and not knowing what is happening around them, right? But little by little, I started going from my ways of strength, trying to understand as a project manager, what the customer wants, what are their issues, challenges, start from there and then see how the technology can solve it. And even within the machine learning team, I worked in 2 or 3 different things in the past 3 or 4 years. I've worked on how Spark integrates with Azure Machine Learning. I've worked with getting our internal teams move away from their homegrown machine learning platforms into Azure Machine Learning and then into the SDK. So with each of these teams, I learned a different thing. I learned on the job. It was a struggle. But by the time I did my third switch for the SDK, which was, like you already said, a whole breadth, I was able to learn a lot about the breadth of the product and have enough depth to learn about the industry as such. I'm not a data scientist by any means. I'm not that level of expert, but I know enough to understand what a customer needs and how the product can solve it. I guess I'm a great example of anybody can learn AI.
Okay, that's good to hear. So then I can learn it as well, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what really excites you in AI?
AI is everywhere, right? Today, if you look at it, AI is the bleeding edge of technology. And AI potentially is going to change our lives the way the internet changed our lives and the way the mobile phones changed our life a few years ago. And that is probably going to be AI. In a few years from now, AI is going to be there in pretty much every part of our life. Maybe it could be anything from my daughter doing research for her high school project, or us driving self-driven cars. AI is there pretty much in every aspect of life, and the impact it creates is what excites me, and I'm grateful that I'm able to be a part of that impact in this industry at this stage when it is just exploding.
Yes. And you are also part of making it available to developers to build their own applications with it.
Yes.
And that's also a very good thing.
Yes, that's a great thing. And the way people use AI also is changing. If you see a few years ago, people used to say, hey, I need to build a model which does X. Now that X could mean, forecasting results given some inputs, or doing recommendations of content for users, or it could be, targeted ads. Models, small models doing very small things. But now the industry is evolving to, hey, how can AI help me do X? That X is becoming a lot more complex. It's becoming very business-oriented problems. So now people are not looking at how do I train, but they're looking at how do I solve this problem. So what that means is people are no longer interested in, how to actually run training or do all that. They don't want to waste time on that. They want to spend time on actual business problems, which is what is leading to this explosion of large models, model providers, etc. If you look at ChatGPT or OpenAI or Hugging Face, who are all these people? They are model providers who have models as a service for various problems. Now I can, as a user, take that model and use it as it is for my problem, or I can take it, I can fine-tune it for my specific need and then use it. So the industry is going from a technical focus to consumer focus. As a user, I want to consume AI and not necessarily work on creating AI. And that is where platforms like Azure ML become super important, where we allow users to focus on their business problem, and most of the infrastructure, setup, workflows, etc., we tend to make it easier for them so that they spend no time or very less time on it.
Yes.
That is sort of leading to the democratization of AI, and it's going to make AI more and more accessible to pretty much everybody.
Yes, that's certainly true. So my last question, what do you really love about your job?
I really love about my job the fact that what I do today is going to be completely different from what I do 2 months from now, because the industry is changing so much. I think, hey, I'm learning something new and I'm going to get good at it. By the time I get even half good at it, I'm moving on to the next thing. So the pace at which things happen and the impact which each pace and each change creates is just amazing. So there's never a dull moment.
No. Okay. Thank you so much for this conversation, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.